Okay. Welcome, everybody. If somebody can just pay attention to the chat in case we have any questions that come on, but this I think is going to be a pretty quick meeting. We're going to record it. So welcome, the second meeting of 2023. And we'll just go over our mission and purpose. Serve as a historical, patriotic, and non-political international organization dedicated to honoring the legacies of those who served in the Vietnam War, to create a community that connects, supports, and advocates for each other, to maintain and upkeep memorials created to honor the Vietnam War, to educate and inform those seeking information and history on the Vietnam War, and to work with and support the National Vietnam War Museum in promoting an understanding of the Vietnam War for generations to come. And we are just going to so we'll just go through the financials, a little bit about advertisement and membership, and we've got some new business speaker series continuing in April. We'll talk about the bylaws update, a Washington, D.C. event coming up, some museum stuff, and Vietnam Veterans Day as well. And then give a update on what's going on, what the happenings are at the museum. And then we'll end it with honoring your veteran, and we'll get an update. Susie's on the call. It can give us an update on the women in the Vietnam War exhibit. So at this point, we are at 97 paid memberships. We had 8 come in January and 4 come in February. Deborah's not on the call, so I don't have the number of renewals at this time. That wasn't updated. So I will let you know. We'll have that updated for the next meeting for sure. And there has been no additional expenses at this time. However, the executive board did approve new brochures to be printed. We just haven't got the final draft back yet from Crystal. So as soon as we get that back, then I will send those immediately off for printing, and we are going to order 2,500 of those. And so our total bank at this time is $3,299.90. And moving on, the brochures will, as I just said, will be available. We do have some available right now. But, again, we just ask that everybody shares the Facebook group, talk to your friends and family, like us on Facebook, Instagram. We've got some events coming up that we'll be able to get some advertisement for as well. So, and membership. So for anyone who's on the call or listening to the recording that wonders about our membership, it is $25 a year for all levels. We have lineal members, collateral members, friends, and we also have a group for veterans that want to join. So that membership is going to include a frameable certificate, commemorative pin, access to special speaker events, access to invite-only in-person events, voting rights, newsletter, and you'll have a national membership number as well. So we'll move on to our speaker series. In April, we will be having Dr. Brian Missler come in, and he is going to give a 60 to 90 minute talk, depending on questions and everything at the end, on elder care and caregiver fatigue. And he will be adding some information about the VA system as well into that. So the last speaker event was for members only. This event is going to be open to anyone that wants to join. So it is going to be posted multiple places. He's doing this event for $500, and the museum is working with us to cover that cost. So he came in at a very low cost for us to begin with, and then it's going to be great to to have it open to so many people and also have that cost covered. So we're just trying to narrow down a date. It'll be the end of April. So the week of the 14th or the 21st were the options that he gave. So we'll discuss with him and the executive board and, look for that invite. So, all right, moving right along. The bylaws. So the bylaws have been written. Dennis Schlemmer, our vice president, came up with an initial sort of draft of the bylaws. Everyone on the executive board had a couple of weeks to look them over, suggest some changes. There was a meeting in February where we discussed and where some changes were suggested. We we'll be having a couple more meetings on this specific thing with the executive board, and we will come up with a final draft. That final draft will then be sent out to all of our paid members, and you will be able to review and send in suggestions if you have them as well. And then once we pass that step, then the bylaws will be voted into play by all paid members. So, and that will be an online email vote. So hopefully there's no questions on those, but just I think we still are a couple months out on being able to come up with that final draft to send out to everyone. All right. And moving right along, just 1 second here. I wanted to just find this web page really quick. All right. So in May, the Vietnam, it's called the Vietnam War Commemoration. And they are doing a sort of welcome home, honoring the veterans. They're celebrating this Camp Legacy that's opening and a few others. So it's a very big event that is being marketed to Vietnam War veterans and their families. So the museum is going to have a table there, and the sons and daughters will also be represented. So Crystal Hudson and myself are both going out to DC for those 2 days, and we are going to pass out brochures. We're going to be at a table that we share with the museum, and so we'll be able to talk to people about both the museum and about the Sons and Daughters group. So I think that's going to be very good advertisement for our group, especially to a very targeted audience that it's relevant to. So this is the first time we've ever attended the event. I believe they do it yearly. So if it's a successful event, then it might be something that we'll look to do each year. But at this time, we really don't know much about it. The table was free for us. It was another group that paid for it and invited us to take their table. So, yeah, and they do have a website. The website is VietnamWar50th.com. So if anybody is interested in knowing more about the event, or if you're in the DC area and you want to join us, reach out to me, let me know, and we'll make that happen. So that is the VietnamWar50th.com, and that event is May 11th through 13th.
Katie, I'm also into, can you hear me?
And so that brings us, when I mentioned this group that is giving us their table. So what this group is they were brought to the museum via a son and daughter of someone from our group. It's the Vietnam War History Foundation. So what they've basically been doing is collecting photos and tagging these photos, and they have just this massive digital library of photos from the Vietnam War. And currently there's just one person left on the foundation that's kind of handling this, and he's just done. He wants to offload it. So he's actually going to turn the entire foundation over to the museum. And the thought on the museum, when I spoke with Ian, who's our curator, was that this would really make the museum kind of a go-to place. The thought is that we're going to pay for this digital library where somebody could come in, sit down on a computer for our museum, and they could type in the Battle of Logang, and any pictures tagged with that would come up. And so they could type in their unit, any pictures tagged with their unit would come up. So so this would be a great place for research, a great place for photos, if there's any news articles or media or anything that needs it. So so that is what is being done. But unfortunately, the process to get all of those photos into this system so that they can be digitalized, and they're already digitalized, sorry, so that they can be in this new system with all the tags and everything like that, is going to be an undertaking. It's not, and so they are looking for some sons and daughters to step up and help with that project as well. So you probably hear more about that in a few months. We're not really quite at the takeover stage yet. So, but I just wanted to join. But so that's who had the table. And since they are disbanding, they gave their table, which was already paid for, to us. So, all right.
Can you hear me? No? Yes?
Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay.
Katie?
Yes, I could hear you, Susie.
So that's going to bring me to.
I guess Katie can't hear me.
You know what? I think I closed it. Did I close it?
Katie?
Hang on 1 second. Let me find this report. Of course.
Maybe. I don't think she can hear us.
I
I don't think she can hear us.
I don't think so either.
Sorry, I had his report and then I was closing everything so
Oh,
that
she probably can't see us either.
I wouldn't all right. Director's report. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay. So the going on at the museum at this point is the museum's been really basically for years just collecting whatever, and we didn't really have any kind of a any kind of idea of what information we needed to collect, or what legal ease we needed to to take over control of something. And so Ian has oh, who's trying? You can't talk?
No.
Yeah, I can't hear you at all.
No?
You guys can hear each other, I suppose. Hang on, let me see
Yes.
what's going on with my. There, will you talk now and see? Can I hear you?
Hello, hello.
Look at that. I can hear you now.
Ah,
Oh,
Can you
that
hear
was-
me now?
Sorry about that. I didn't realize my speakers weren't working.
You should have known you hadn't heard from me yet, so something was wrong.
Thanks for the text.
Yeah. The museum posted about the Nixon Library having an event on Vietnam War Veterans Day. They're have a new statue that they're revealing that day for the Vietnam veterans. Andy and I will be attending that. I have reached out to them to see if they'll allow us to pass out brochures and things, but I haven't heard back yet.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect.
When is
Wow.
that? Is that the same
There
time?
is a temporary exhibit coming in, the Lost Children of not gonna butcher that name. So that's gonna be available for viewing at the museum. It's just a temporary exhibit that's coming in. And I know they're setting it up like the 11th and 12th of March, and I'm not sure exactly if that means it opens as soon as it's set up or how that works, but should be around mid-March. So if you're planning a visit to the museum, you might want to work around that so that you can see that exhibit. It's supposed to be pretty amazing. Ian has been extremely busy. He is our curator and director at the museum, and there were some concerns over lack of security gate to close out the museum. There's been a couple of security issues, and especially in this day and age too, with the way that memorials and all kinds of things are being treated. So we actually did have a donor come in and donate the entire cost of the security gate. So that should be installed, I'm guessing soon. It's a very beautiful gate, and it really will it's going to change sort of the face of coming into the museum, and I think it's really beautiful. So that's a great thing. He works on quite a lot of development and funding, and the North Texas Community Foundation approved a grant that he's had. We have I think he's got something like 8 or 10 grants in the works right now that are out there. So he's an amazing grant writer, and he really knows how to search and find that. So he's spending a lot of time with the press and media, and getting our name out there and everything. So so there's a lot going on at the museum. And Susie mentioned the event, which we will go ahead and share on the Sons and Daughters page as well. We can share that event from the Vietnam War Museum page to the Sons and Daughters page. So if you're in town, I'll be in town for that as well. So perfect.
I think I did put it on the Sons and Daughters page.
Oh, okay. Great.
I didn't put it on the museum page.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. All right, so moving right along, we have our spring fundraiser, March 25th. I will be sending out an invite for anyone who is in town and wants to meet up. It's going to be a lot less formal. I think with setup and everything, we'll probably either meet, just before the fundraiser begins, and just have a meet and greet at the pub across the street, or look for that as we get a little closer to the date. And just know that if you're coming into town for that, we will be having some sort of informal get together just a couple hours before the event. And we do have, we are still looking for items for that basket raffle. So if you could go on to the group page, there is a link to an Amazon list. And there's small items there, there's larger items if you can do that. But we really, last year we had 22 baskets, and we made a good amount of money for the museum. And so we want to try and match that. It was really well received. People loved being able to be in a drawing. It helped Susie at the end with checkouts, and she didn't get rushed all at once. And so the other thing too is if you want to stop at your local chain restaurant, Dairy Queens, or I don't even know what's out there anymore, but and buy a few gift cards. You can send them to me at this address as well. So, those are something. And then also if, maybe you're an independent consultant or one and you want to donate a basket, we'll make sure that we include your information with that basket, and, we'll post your information out there too. So, great advertisement for you if you're an independent consultant of something. So, is there any questions on this? No? Okay, just 1 minute here. Alrighty. Okay, and volunteering at the museum. They are looking for some help. They've got jobs such as receptionist, gift shop assistant. You can do visitor support. There's stand-up jobs, there's sit-down jobs. You can volunteer as much or as little as your schedule allows. So, if you can only go in 1 day a month, it's great. If you can go in 1 day a week, even better. We just want to make sure that we as sons and daughters have a presence at that museum as well. And, we want to make sure that we are supporting the museum. So if you, or maybe someone who wants to come in and, give some time and help us at the museum, that would be great. There's an application online on the website, the museum website, that you can fill out, and they will contact you and set up some times for you to come in and get some training. Alrighty. And this is the promo items are still available. So if you do have to pay shipping, but the shipping really was inexpensive. So if there's anybody who would like a promo item, just let me know. There's travel mug, there's an insulated tote, notebook, flashlight, pen, and water bottle. Whatever doesn't sell, I'll probably take out to Washington, D.C. in May and sell it there. So no worries about me having too much stock. So, alrighty. And we still have available the scrapbook. We get a few pages in actually every month. So the scrapbook is looking really great and filling up. You don't have to provide your own page protector. We have those already. So you just need to mail in your 12 by 12 page, and it's going to be displayed permanently at the museum. And really, I see people when we were out there, they're looking through the scrapbook all the time. So it's not just something that just, it's people have interest in those personal stories. So, get out there and, get your veteran recognized at the museum and, put them in that scrapbook. Most content's acceptable: service, stories, pictures, awards. We just don't want any graphic photos. There's kids that do come to the museum. And you can just mail those directly to the museum, and somebody there will get it put into the book for you. All right. And I am going to turn it over to Susie and let Susie talk about where we are with the Women of the Vietnam War exhibit.
Okay. Okay. Well, we are finishing up our interviews this month. So by the end of the month, I should have everybody's interviews in, and then we will begin the process of editing them. And at which point we will probably have to start fundraising as well to get the equipment that we need to get that up and running in the museum. I'd like to get it done. It'd be nice if we could get it done this summer, just because I guess maybe fall, because these ladies have been waiting forever to get that done. So I want to kind of get on that.
All right. Well, thank you, Susie.
Mm-hmm.
And So at this time, I will just open this up to any questions, any open discussions. I'm gonna turn off. Should I stop recording at this time? Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna stop the share. And I am going to stop recording.